9:30 on this Wednesday. Hey everybody, Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center. If you caught our newscast earlier, you heard Mark Dixon mention how we were chatting about how different it feels outside right now than it did this morning. Earlier today, we had dew points well into the 60s. Now we have dew points in the 30s. Much cooler, drier air spilling into Connecticut. And that is going to eventually lead to some frost tomorrow night. Our first frost of the season. In fact, we could challenge records. That'll be a First Alert weather day. And then while we get a break Saturday, we'll be tracking a coastal storm for the Sunday-Monday time frame. Wind and rain prompt another First Alert weather day. But let's begin chronologically. Let's go chronologically and start with tomorrow night. Freeze watches in effect throughout inland Connecticut. This will signal the end of the growing season. So what we're expecting here is some frost. And the reason for that is because of radiational cooling. We'll have high pressure overhead, leading to clear skies, dry air, and a calm wind. Those are the ingredients that we really look for. What happens here is that the radiation from Earth, the heat, can actually work its way back out to space very quickly and easily, meaning temperatures not only fall quickly, they end up a bit lower. So that's why we look for these ingredients. So that makes frost likely inland as temperatures will dip for some in the higher elevations into the upper 20s. Elsewhere, we're thinking low to mid 30s. Shoreline towns will be closer to 40 degrees, which means less of a risk for frost along the shoreline. And you may have heard a couple of different terms thrown around here: frost versus freeze versus hard freeze. Typically, when we talk about frost, we're talking about temperatures about 32 to 36 degrees. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, 36 is above freezing, so how can frost form? And the reason for that is because when we measure the official temperature, it's 2 meters above the ground, so about 6 feet off the ground. And sometimes as you get a little bit closer to the ground, the temperature is just that much lower and allows the frost to form. And that's also where the moisture comes from the dew, the transpiration of the plants and things like that. 28 to 32 degrees we typically refer to as a freeze because it's a bit colder and we start to really see things freeze over. At 28 and below is a hard freeze. This certainly would signify the end of the growing season, but we're not expecting anything quite this cold. As far as numbers go, the record low for the Hartford area on Friday morning is 29 degrees, set back in 1989. We're forecasting 32. For Bridgeport, it's 33 degrees, set in 1979. We're forecasting 39 degrees. So while records will be perhaps in play, we're not officially forecasting record cold just yet. But we are forecasting the coldest morning since April. The last time we had a temperature for the Hartford area below 40 degrees was back on May 12th. The last time the temperature was below 35 was April 20, or 35 or lower, I should say, was April 21st. And we are expecting to be certainly below both of those numbers. So a sign of the changing seasons. Today, the temperature for the Hartford area, the high temperature, 79. So far, the low was 59. We'll likely see that be adjusted as the night goes on here and temperatures continue to drop. We picked up some meaningful rainfall last night, beneficial rainfall, a little less than a half inch across western Connecticut, about a half inch to an inch in the eastern half of the state, a little bit less along the immediate shoreline, but this was still beneficial rainfall for us. However, certainly not enough to knock us out of the developing drought situation, especially in southeastern Connecticut. Take a look at some of the numbers here. So month to date, we are still running a deficit of about 3/4 of an inch in the Hartford area, just under an inch in Bridgeport. If we go back to the start of the year, we have a surplus of 1 inch exactly for the Hartford area, but we still have a deficit of over 12.5 inches for Bridgeport. We will see how things trend for Sunday and Monday when it comes to totals. A little too early to start talking those specifics, but that could certainly help out this situation. Today, temperatures peaked for many towns early on in the day in the 70s, 74 degrees in New Haven. Some of these numbers happened just a little bit after midnight. Certainly above normal for this time of year, though. It's just in the afternoon. Temperatures were not quite at that same level. We did rebound a bit back into the mid and upper 60s. Now we're talking 45 to 50 throughout inland Connecticut, with some mid 50s still popping up for the 95 corridor. Wind is out of the north right now. Earlier today, we had gusts between 20 and 30 miles an hour, even a few gusts over 30 miles an hour. Our wind has calmed down quite a bit since. Wind is out of the north at 5 miles an hour sustained in Waterbury right now. Winds are the temperature is about 50 degrees. Notice how dry everything is. It's been a while since that rain moved through, so we dried out pretty nicely. And here's our iCam view in Old Saybrook. Earlier tonight, we were tracking cloudiness. We were looking at the flag whipping in the wind. Things are now much calmer. It will still be a bit breezy at times overnight tonight, but the rain has moved on out. There were a few showers that formed on the backside of that storm system across New York. Those have since fizzled out entirely. So for Connecticut, we're looking at dry conditions. Tonight, temperatures will dip into the upper 30s and low 40s in the Litchfield Hills. 37 in Norfolk tonight, 38 tonight in Sharon, 39 in Winstead, 42 in New Milford, Woodbury, 40 in Thomaston, 40 in Granby tonight, 44 New Britain, Glastonbury, 43 in Suffield, Ellington 41 with some upper 30s, Stafford, Tolland, Storrs, 40 tonight in Plainfield. 39 in Jewett City, 43 in Niantic, 40 in Salem. We're forecasting 44 in Portland and Haddam, 46 in Madison, 42 in Naugatuck, 45 in Wallingford, 46 in Milford. So you'll need to grab coats on your way out the door tomorrow. Send your kids out to the bus stop with jackets too. Temperatures will peak in the upper 50s, inland low 60s along the shoreline. We are expecting plenty of sunshine out there. It will be a little bit breezy again. Wind gusts between, say, 15 and 20 miles an hour or so out of the north. So that may make it feel just a little bit cooler, but late tomorrow evening, we'll watch that breeze fall off pretty quickly as high pressure gets ready to settle in overhead. And as we mentioned, this high being overhead is what really will allow those temperatures to just drop quickly Thursday night into Friday morning. Certainly the chilliest morning that we have seen so far this season. You'll have to cover up any of those plants that are sensitive to frost. Ragweed pollen's a little bit higher the next couple of days. The breeze might help to stir some of that up a little bit, but it does drop off a bit by Saturday. And then as we get into Sunday and Monday, well, for the final 2 days of the holiday weekend, we're focused much more on the impacts from rain. So we're breezy on Thursday tomorrow, frosty start on there Friday, and that's why we have a first alert weather day. Saturday for the Eversource Hartford Marathon, everything's looking great, plenty of sunshine, starting off in the 40s, climbing to the 60s. On Sunday, well, 62 degrees. Showers will be ramping up as the day goes on Sunday, and we will become breezy. By Monday, we're expecting wet conditions. Rain is likely. It's going to be windy, 61. On Tuesday, still some isolated showers, a bit breezy out there, temps in the 60s, climbing into the upper 60s by Wednesday. You'll note tomorrow night is the only night for any frost potential over the next 7 days. Overnight lows will be well back into the 40s, which is actually closer to normal for this time of year. Along the shoreline, 61 tomorrow, 64 on Friday, 68 Saturday. We're forecasting 63 Sunday and 62 on Monday, back up to 66 Tuesday, 70 by next Wednesday. So seasonably warm by the middle of next week because our normal high temperatures are falling. October 24th is when the normal high for the Hartford area drops to 60 degrees. We'll take you through the marathon morning here. So if you are headed to Hartford, of course, for the marathon itself, if you're a runner, temperatures in the 40s may be welcomed. A little bit brisk out there, certainly. And temperatures will climb up through the 50s and will be in the lower 60s as everything winds down at noon. But just a stunning day to be at Bushnell Park, stunning day to be out in Hartford. If you're a runner, if you're cheering on runners, no matter what, it's going to be great. We'll start to see some high cloudiness build in later in the day, but it's Sunday where we watch for our coastal storm to develop. High pressure to the north, low pressure to the south. So as this low moves up the eastern seaboard, we'll see an increasing chance for rain. Here are the headlines overlaid on the graphic. Periods of rain expected and a gusty wind. And wind will be out of the east. So around low pressure, wind moves in a counterclockwise manner. Around high pressure, clockwise. That's going to enhance that easterly flow. Combined with a gusty wind during the high tide cycles, we may see some minor coastal flooding. So a couple of things here that we just have to keep our eyes on. We'll take you through our model comparison. Noon on Saturday, the American model still mainly dry. The European model starting to show more in the way of showers. Pardon me, this is noon on Sunday. We are expecting showers to develop during the day Sunday. So it's really Sunday afternoon and evening when things become wetter. 7 p.m. on Sunday, we see these deeper shades of green, indicating the higher likelihood that rain will be moving in and through. By Monday, we are still tracking rain. This is noon on Monday, so certainly a longer duration event here that will be unfolding, perhaps more than 24 hours. And that is certainly, again, beneficial rainfall. Not great timing given that Monday is a holiday. So first alert weather days for Sunday and Monday thanks to that coastal storm. Outdoor activities will be impacted. Travel will be impacted too. We'll take you briefly to the tropics here. The latest in Tropical Storm Jerry now has winds of 65 miles per hour. And so it strengthened just a little bit throughout the course of the evening. It is forecast to strengthen more as it passes by the Leeward Islands, becoming a Category 1 hurricane on Friday, and it'll end up east of Bermuda before it turns back out to sea. So thankfully, no direct impacts to land expected with this, and it certainly doesn't look as strong as some of the other hurricanes that we have seen form as of late. But to take things back home, First Alert 7-day forecast, breezy conditions out there on Thursday. Tomorrow, highs around 60. Frosty start Friday, a First Alert weather day because of it. Temps back in the mid-60s, upper 60s on Saturday. Sunday and Monday, First Alert weather days. Showers increasing on Sunday. We are wet and windy on Monday. If you want to track any rain that develops, you can do so with the free First Alert weather app. Isolated showers, breezy on Tuesday. By Wednesday next week, back in the mid and upper 60s to near 70 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. That'll do it for our First Alert Weather Extra, but don't worry, there's more where this came from. Tomorrow morning, you can join us again. We, of course, will have updates on the Wax tonight at 10 and on Channel 3 tonight at 11. Hope you all had a great day, and we will, again, be back here tomorrow night, same time, same place, with hopefully an even more in-depth look, not only at the frost potential, but at that weekend storm.